Hello once again, it's Matthew here with another video for you, and as ever, if you like the kind of videos I make, be them about electronics, music or something else, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow. Click the little bell icon if you want to be notified for the next video, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Matthew North Music on Facebook is the best place. Now today there's a box, and what's in this box? Well, you probably know from the thumbnail of the video. But since I've started this YouTube channel, one thing I've learned is that there's lots of people like me. People like me that like to buy the same albums that we already own, that like to buy all the stuff that we had as a kid but then got rid of. And anything that's even slightly nostalgic, we want it back. And what's in here is no exception to that rule. This is one of my favourite pieces of consumer electronics ever made. It's the Amstrad 8090 Great Player, which was their boombox that they released around about 1983. Now, what makes this different from many Amstrad products is that it was made in Japan, and it was a much better quality product than most of the stuff that they made. And it's got this amazing feature that you can actually remove the top cassette deck and it becomes a Walkman. And there's very few boomboxes that ever did that, and certainly this was the only one available in the UK. Another thing that I was a big fan of, made by Amstrad, was my first PC. This Amstrad PC3086 was the first PC I ever owned. I had it for about 5 or 6 years before it started playing up, and I just didn't even think about getting it fixed. It was old, it was out of date, and I just chucked it. And I do regret that, and I wish I still had it. But I've managed to get another one. Now, this was sold as not working, although it did power up. And what I'm hoping to be able to do is to clean it up, get it up and running, stick some software on it, and play my original version of Frogger, which I used to play on this machine back in the day, because every computer I've tried to play my game of Frogger on since, the computer's been too fast or it just hasn't worked properly. So what we're going to do, we're going to unbox this, see what's inside. Now here's the thing, I asked the eBay seller, please can you pack it in some proper packaging and send it by a decent courier, because I've seen on your feedback that you've sold other things that have got damaged in transit. Well, this to me looks like a pretty decent quality box. And even though I had to wait a bit longer than the time scale, I'm guessing the seller probably had to source a box to pack it. So I'm not too worried about having to wait. I'd rather wait a bit longer and have it in a box that's strong and sturdy rather than it being damaged. Anyhow, let's get this open and see what we got. There's one flap there, and well, inside we first got, oh, you can make an episode of Doctor Who with this. This is like some sort of, it always feels like insulation, but it's you know, some sort of packaging material, but that's good. And we've got some of this stuff, and here we've got the keyboard. Now if you look at the keyboard, it looks like a PC-XT or a PC-AT keyboard. But if we look close up, you may be able to see from that, or maybe not, but it's got a 7-pin DIN. So it's a proprietary keyboard that is made for the Amstrad, but it's got nice clicky keys. It's grotty, it needs a good scrub, but it is complete. And yep, the feet, the extension feet are both intact. So I'm really pleased to get this keyboard, because without this keyboard you just can't use the computer at all. So yeah, really happy with that. And then we've got some more of this white packaging stuff, and it's all around the edge. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this has been packed. I think the seller's done a good job with this. So if we pull this up, and it's got lots of this white stuff kind of wrapped around the computer, so will it slide out the side? Probably not. So let's just get this out. Oh, and we've got some other cables in here. We've got a monitor cable and power lead. So yeah, that's all useful. Just going to move this box out of the way. And yeah, so it's just an ordinary IEC mains lead sealed plug and VGA to VGA cable. So always useful that, because when it was being demoed, it obviously didn't have its original its original Amstrad, sorry, CRT. But I'm not really bothered about that. I mean, you do see Amstrad branded CRTs, but that's the one bit I didn't like about it. I didn't really like the monitor because it did used to give me eye strain a bit. Anyhow, here it is. This is my first computer, the Yamaha PC3086. Now on the front it's got a 9-pin D-sub connector for the mouse. Now I'm not sure if that's a standard serial mouse or again whether it's a proprietary Amstrad thing or not. Moving on from the mouse, there's a volume control for the speaker. Then we've got a 3.5-inch 720k floppy disk, and we got a 5.25-inch floppy disk drive that's 360k, I think. Yeah, 360k. So standard things. Power button there for the switch it on and off. Let's have a look at the back. And got to say, this machine looks cleaner and tidier than the advert. Maybe it was just the photographs, I don't know. But yeah, we've got our power supply, our VGA output. We've got a parallel port here, which is for connecting things like printers. We've got a 25-way D-sub serial. So you will be able to plug a mouse into that, even if you don't want to plug anything else into it. And there's our keyboard socket. So yeah, we've got a complete computer. Well, the next part of this story then is going to be having a look inside. I think there's one thing we need to repair, which I have the replacement part for. And then we'll give it a clean, check it all inside, and then we'll power it up and see what we can do with this computer. Okay, I'm like a kid at Christmas. Now, when I saw this on eBay, it was showed to be powered up. So I've got the computer plugged into my monitor, I've got the keyboard plugged in, and this is the first time I've done it. I'm going to switch it on and see what happens. And it's powering up. And you can see it's got a message, please wait. It's doing a floppy seek. The hard drive has got some activity. If I move the camera around, you can see the hard drive light is flashing. CMOS battery failed. That's not an issue because, my God, we are in DOS. MS-DOS version 3.3. That is the version of DOS that was on the machine when I got it. This machine works. This machine is 32 years old. It has its original hard drive and it's working. Let's go DIR. So what have we got here? We've got WordStar, accounts, games, money. This computer is working. It is completely working. This is amazing. This is amazing. Now, if I type in edit, have we got the DOS text editor? No, we haven't. CD DOS, Edlin, C drive / auto exec.bat. Right, I can't, hang on a second, let's break that. Break. EXIT. Okay, let's go print. Let's go back, we'll go to the main prompt. Go print .bat. Oh, I haven't got a printer in there. Okay. I've forgotten a few DOS commands, but don't worry, I'm going to think about it. This is amazing. This computer is working. I can't believe it. I've literally just taken it out of the box, switched it on, and it works. This has absolutely blown my mind. Now, the date and time thing, we've got a way of fixing that, which I will talk about in a minute, but just to take one look at this 40-year-old computer is working. So what I think I need to do now is somehow make a backup of what's on the hard drive in case the hard drive does fail. But oh lordy, this is truly amazing. Truly, truly amazing. Okay, I'm looking at the folder called Games, and it's got a couple of games on, including Elite. Now, could this be the famous BBC computer game? Let's try it. Okay, so to allow for the different speeds of machines, 2 different versions of Elite have been supplied. The shade version of Elite has a nicer graphics, but unless your machine is powerful. So we don't want that, so we'll press F2 for the line drawn Elite. Loading game, please wait. Now obviously the geometry of this is going to look a bit weird. Program protection, you're required to enter a word from the flight training manual, which is set at the page. Power. Oh, right, okay, so... No, it's not going to work. Okay. Thank you for playing Delete. Have a nice DOS. Okay, so that's no good. So I haven't got the book. What else have we got? Indie. Right. So I'm guessing this is some sort of motor car game. Indie. Well, actually, maybe I should have run them. Hello. And it's really nice that the internal speaker's got a volume control, but look at the graphics on that. That's not bad at all. 1989 this game was made. This is absolutely great. So what do we do? Do we hit keys or do we have to wait for it to play its tune? Please wait, okay. Well, there we go. Press escape to drive, okay. Let's go for practice. Okay, so the forward arrow, so it's the arrow keys. Oh, I've crashed. There you go, I never was very good at computer games. But yeah, this whole computer is working brilliantly. Quit to DOS, yeah. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got WordStar. Will that run from the prompt? No. Now, I think you just typed in WS. Yep, WordStar 4.0. Oh, these were the days. Right, so what should we do? We want to do a new document. Open a non-document, maybe N for new, yeah. No, I don't want to do that. Maybe just press enter and you get a new one. Okay, if I go D, open a document, document to motor, Matt. Can't find that file, create a new one, yes please. Okay, this is Matthew, testing, WordStar. Now, I haven't used WordStar for years, but I'm pretty sure there's a preview mode on here, and it looks like an actual page. Where we go? So, up, down, let's cursor scroll, erase, others, J, on-screen format, block and save, print controls, on the screen. So if I go Shift-O, is it Shift-O? No, it can't be. Maybe it's Controls it, Control-O. Oh, it's doing something weird. Let's go to print. Actually, can we just tab this? Does this tab up? Does it go up to there? No, it doesn't. Oh, this is so nostalgic. Check words. Oh, maybe it's F1. That's the help one. 2 undo, 3 line, 4 ball, 2 delete word, line, ruler, save, and current help. What help do you want with? Nothing. Okay. So you've got a line paragraph. This is great. This is really good. So if I come out of this now, which is F10, I think, saving. Now if I go D, open a document to open, C drive /auto exec.bat. I wonder if I can open that up. Can't find a quick note. Can't do that, but open a printer file, merge print file, index document, table contents, exit to help, protect my rename, copy a file, delete file. Yeah, WordStar. There you go. X for exit. So that's a program I've not seen for years. Well, I think I just remember. I think it's the word type. So I go type, spell it right. Auto exec.bat. There we go. So at echo off, path for DOS, keyboard.sys, prompt, clear the screen, show the version. Now, this computer doesn't have a mouse driver on it, so they never used a mouse with it. So that's something we'll probably add at some point. Does this have a config sys? dir/wide. Yeah, it does have config sys. So if we then go again, type config.sys. And we've got country.sys, files equals 20, buffers equal 20. That country 044, that's the UK keyboard code. So yeah, everything's working. Now, because this is DOS 3.3, I'm not sure I've got any DOS 3.3 disks. So one thing I'm going to do is I am going to back up everything on here, as I said, but also I'd quite like to make a set of DOS 3.3 disks because they're useful things to have in the future. And having the floppy drives and everything on here, this computer is going to be absolutely ideal for me to make floppy disks with. And also because I'm going to hopefully get this set up, which is my 8-bit ISA to compact flash drive emulator thing, because I'm not sure if this has got an IDE drive on it or not. But this thing you can slot in. I use this on the other XT machine and it's brilliant. You can just boot off it. I can copy all the files off this machine onto this card, and then once I've done that, the card can then go to PC and I can keep it backed up on the PC, keep it backed up on a hard drive or whatever, and I've got everything that's on this machine. So what I will possibly end up doing is not using the internal hard drive. But saying that, this hard drive is working. Which is, you know, truly amazing. Let me just go into the DOS files and let's go dir/p. So what we've got in the DOS folder. So we've got command.com, got ANSI.sys, printer RAM drive, debug, disk copy, disk compression, edlin, fdisk format. They're commands I'm not going to be typing in at any point. Got recover, sys, so you can transfer your system onto a floppy disk. Replace, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on here. Xcopy, so Xcopy is the command you can use for basically copying everything off one drive onto another. And yeah, now, do we have to park the hard drive? That I can't remember. Yes, the heads are parked. You may now switch off and press escape, or press escape to return to DOS. So again, this ship disk head parking utility, that's something that's proprietary to Amstrad to go with this drive. So some people may, I mean, if you use things like DOS, I think 4 or maybe 5 onwards, I think it auto parks the head. But on a machine like this, you really need to park the head, then switch the machine off. But This is incredible. This is absolutely exciting. So I'm going to leave this section of the video here, and I don't know when I'm going to finish this off, but yeah, we're going to do a lot more with this machine. I think we might even sort that real-time clock out now, actually. I'll do that right now. I'll show you how. Okay, well, I've taken the screws off, and we're just going to remove the cover. And yeah, I think the speaker's still attached, and there's some stuff still attached here that's actually on a little cable. There's two cables here, yeah. Okay, so we've got like a little, what looks like LED board there, and we've got our volume control here. Very nicely little designed on there, just on two little connectors, so it just comes out and we can just remove this, and then that leaves us with our main board. Now this is so nostalgic to me, because one of the first things I ever did with this machine when I got it was take it apart. There's our, I think that's a custom Amstrad chip there. I'm guessing it's possibly for sound and for graphics. There's another one there. We've got our 8086 processor there, and we've got a space for a co-processor here, which I may add. We've got a board here that's got our ISA slots on it. In fact, if I turn that around slightly, you can see there's also some chunky resistors here. I assume that's something to do with the power outlet. The power supply itself actually looks like a fairly standard generic power supply. And we've got our floppy drive cable here. And underneath, I think we've got I don't know where our hard drive is actually. It might be actually underneath yeah, it's underneath the floppy drive. I'll just show you that. If I just hold this up, you can see there's a great big chunky floppy hard drive in there, and that does look exactly the same as the hard drive I used to have on my old machine. Now, our power switch is actually slightly broken, and it actually fell out, but I mean, it still will function if it's put in place, but that might need to be sort of maybe glued back on. But yeah, it all seems to be here. Now, that date and time thing that we had. Now, this machine has this Dallas real-time clock chip in it. It doesn't have one of those horrible batteries that leaks everywhere, which is great. And I think you can just remove this, or is it soldered in? I'm not sure. No, it's in the socket. It's socketed. But I may need to just use something just to gently lever it out. Let's just try. Yep, it's coming out. There we go. So yeah, there's our Dallas real-time clock here. You can probably see. So I've just taken that out of the board. Now I'm just going to move that just to one side, just so I know which way it went round. And I'm going to go and get another one. Now, I bought this Dallas real-time clock chip the other day on eBay, where, you know, we buy everything. Now, I bought this Dallas real-time clock on eBay the other day. It cost me about £15. And I think it was free postage as well, which is always a nice thing to have. And it should be a drop-in replacement. It's a slightly different model, but it was recommended on a Amstrad website I was looking at as to be a correct drop-in replacement. So if we take this packaging out, oh I see, fold those in half and push those in like that, and then that comes out. Sorry about the camera going out of focus and the light being a bit rubbish. But yeah, if no, that still won't come out. There we go. So there's our replacement chip right there, and I'm going to very carefully put it into position, which I think is there. Okay, so our chip is now in, and let's switch it on and see what happens. Please set time and date. No CMOS battery error. So that's good. Right, so I think if I just type in time, current time is that. So the time now is 2022. 2022, make it 0 seconds. Now if I type in date, okay, I'm truly going for broke now. I've put my XTIDE card into the computer. Now, I'm pretty sure when you boot this, you get a menu option as to where you want to boot from. So with that installed, let's see if it actually works or if it does something weird. I mean, it shouldn't do anything too weird because, you know, it's a modern peripheral for old computers, and if I got it working in that old Opus machine of mine, it should work on here. Or it may not, just not notice it at all. So about now we should get its menu. Yes, we are. So if I use, if I just leave it running, or press C actually, will it then boot off the C drive? Because if it does, I can then copy stuff to this disk. Or maybe I press F8. I think I may need to set some of the jumpers on this. Not sure. Let me just do another reboot. No, it's not doing anything. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this off, and as soon as I see that menu come up again, I'm going to hit C to get it to boot, hopefully, from that card. But I may need to do some tweaks, because it may well have conflicting memory addresses or some other weirdness. Yeah, I think it's I think it doesn't like the address location, so not to worry, because that's all fine. I'm just going to turn this off again. In fact, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to disconnect the power. I'm just going to take the card out and look at the memory settings. Yeah, I need to look at the manual for this, because there's other settings on here for the memory, and I can't. Just look at the back and just see what it says. Yeah, it's pretty much the address selection, and there's some kind of conflict, probably because it's got a hard drive already in the machine and it's trying to access the same thing. So I'm going to pop the mains back in now, because I just want to test that we're still working, because obviously I put a piece of hardware in there and it probably didn't like it, or may not have liked it. No, it's just scanned the 2 floppy drives. And same, because I've disconnected the power, hopefully. Yeah, the clock's still there. And it's got the new time, 22:27. Yeah, everything's good about this machine. So yeah, I'm going to do some more research on that XTIDE and see if we can copy stuff off it, and then I will do my next plan of action. Well, as you can see, I'm playing Frogger on this computer, which is why I bought it, although, as you can also tell, I'm not very good at it. Now, I'm going to do a follow-up video on this, because I want to do some experiments with it. Now, I've tried to hook it up with fast links to my desktop machine, and while it uploaded the slave program, no problem, it doesn't seem to want to connect for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try using the parallel port interface instead, but I'm just waiting to get a USB to parallel adapter. Look at that! Woohoo! So when I get that, I will then do some more stuff with this, because what I want to do is I want to be able to back up the actual hard drive, because the hard drive has got all its proprietary software on it, and while I've backed it up onto a floppy disk, I mean, I could just literally sit here with floppy disks and copy everything across bit by bit, but it will just take forever. Anyway, that was a bit of a rubbish game, but you can tell I gave the keyboard a nice clean, and actually the keyboard looks pretty good. So really happy with that. But yeah, I just can't get it to connect to the fast links, and I don't know why. It's really, really odd. I mean, if I just reboot this and I'll fire up fast links on the desktop, and I've got it connected like I connected the other machine. So I've got the serial adapter lead here, and I said that it must work because it loads up everything else. Now, something else I can show you here as well. If I type in device, it actually gives me a list of everything that's on here. Now, interestingly, it's saying that drive B is 720k, so I think there's a jumper mismatch somewhere, which I need to adjust to make that correct. But everything else seems okay, and the COM1 is definitely configured right. And as I said, I was able to upload the host program, or they call it the slave program. But otherwise, it seems to be good. Now, interestingly, it says it's a 31 megabyte hard drive. I'm pretty sure my original one had a 40 megabyte hard drive, but it may well have been partitioned. And if it was a 40 megabyte, it might explain why it failed. Whereas this one seems to be working okay for the most part. But yeah, I'm going to do some more bits and bobs on this anyway, because what I want to do is back up the hard drive. Then I'm going to see if I can get the this thing to actually work properly with it. And then in that case, I can actually run the software that's been loaded in off this. And we should have a much better working machine. But for now, I think we'll leave it as this, that I've actually scored a winner. I've bought a 35-year-old PC, and it's still working. Okay, so what I've done is I've got the fast links connected to this machine, and I'm going to run the slave program. Now this uploaded via the serial cable without any problem, so I know the serial connection, everything's good. However, when I go to connect using fast links on the desktop, and I've got it all configured, if I go into the configuration settings, I've got it set to COM5, it's on 96 baud. The maximum block size, well, I never had to change that before, but I have tried it on different settings, and I go to connect, and it just says connecting on COM5, but then if we look at the DOS machine, it's just hanging by saying waiting for connection, and it's not really doing anything. Now, I don't know if there is some sort of problem with the COM port, although I wouldn't have thought so, simply because I was able to hook up the fast links to upload this slave program without any problem. But it does say there, listing on LPT1 at address reason make presence verified, and on there it says IRQ4, but it doesn't say presence verified. So I'm wondering if I try using a parallel connector, as in USB to parallel adapter, maybe that might work. I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. One thing I'm really pleased about is the keyboard, because I literally just gave it a wipe with some glass cleaner, and it's come up absolutely spotless. In fact, there's not much muck in the gaps or anything. It was just over the top, which makes me think this was probably just been left in a loft for maybe 20 or 30 years, and it's not actually had much excessive use, which is good, because it means the computer itself is actually going to be in decent condition. Anyhow, this is the main reason I brought this. And if I hit there, press F10, redefine the keys. So I like to go up, down, left, right. All keys correct, yes. Play level, normal, advanced, expert. So if I press F3, is this level of your choice? No. No. Normal, yes. Okay. And then press any other key. And here we have Frogger. with that really annoying tune. But what's nice about it is I've got a volume control, so I can actually turn it down if I want to. But you know, I've wanted to play this game for, well, 30 odd years, because every computer I've had has always been too fast, or it just won't play properly for some reason. Even on the 8088 machine that I had, it was being a bit weird. But woohoo, look at that. This is the most successful I've actually gone on Frogger, so I'm just going to talk to you while I'm playing Frogger, because it's something I've wanted to do for so long. But you know, the graphics on this machine, you know, for something of this age is pretty good. You know, VGA graphics on an XT class machine is not something that you actually had very often, because, as I said, this machine came out in 1990, and by that point XT class machines were kind of well on the way out, because, you know, we're up to the point certainly of 386 machines, and Windows 3.1 was just about to come out. I think it came out in 91, so we were on 3.0, but you know, Windows was certainly a thing that people were starting to use. You know, I just had this DOS machine, and you know, it's great. Let's just see if we can get it up to there. Woohoo! Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with any more Frogger. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with this machine. This is the DOS computer that I've really wanted, because it was the computer I originally had. And for it to come up working so well, I'm really chuffed with it. Hopefully I can get fast links working, maybe using the parallel port, and then that way I can back up the drive, and then, as I said, I can get the compact flash card in it, which turn that down. And we'll be able to do some more interesting things with it. Obviously I want to try and get, you know, music software working on it, and trying to get it to do, you know, a few more interesting things. But as it is, really happy with this, and it's a testament that not everything Amstrad made was complete rubbish, because this was great. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Catch you on the next one.